All right, what I love about YouTube is the level of interactivity that I get sometimes from these videos. In the comments, I got some pretty nice feedback. One's from Timmy saying those engines have a lot of power. I don't think they need flaps to get airborne. And yeah, I agree. But then we have another tester here from Airliners saying, I don't know if it makes a difference first no flaps, but could you try to retract the flaps right after rotating? Captain Steeve's theory was that they retracted flaps instead of gear up. So yeah, I'm gonna give this one a shot. Thanks for putting that in there. Yeah, this one might make a difference. Let's check it out. No aeronautical engineer, but I know when you push the flaps up without enough speed, your nose will go down and you might lose your lift. So let's check it out. We're back in our 787-10 because the 8 doesn't work in 2024. And we're back at Victor Alpha Alpha Hotel. I have no idea how to say it. I'm sorry, guys, but it's I'm very dyslexic. Ahmedabad. I'm butchering it. I'm so sorry. But we're back here. Okay, we'll be taking off from runway 23 one more time. Pull up our little iPad here. We're gonna pull up our checklist, and for our before takeoff, flaps set for takeoff. All right, I'm gonna be sitting the co-pilot here. I don't see flaps for takeoff, so we're gonna have our flaps set to, let's just set them at 17 for now, right? We're gonna have let's set it from 18, and then we're gonna go all the way up. Once we rotate, I'm just gonna, instead of hitting the gear up, I'm just gonna go like that. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out if I can, so I have it at 18 when we start our takeoff. Start rolling down the road. We're gonna rotate at 160 nautical miles per hour. Then we're just gonna rotate, and then we're gonna hit the flaps all the way up instead of the gear. Okay, let's do it. Brakes off. Full throttle. All right, we're at 55, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. Look, the plane's taking itself off right now. Flaps up. I'm not touching the stick at all. Okay. Yeah, no issues at all with the takeoff there. You'll see that the gear's still down. Okay. So I'm gonna try one more thing here where I don't use full throttle. I'm gonna put throttle at like 60%. All right, I want to test out my theory here where all right, it's not my theory. I'm gonna test out to see if this aircraft can take off at 50% power, and that will simulate some rough engines. All right, so here we go. We're at 50% engine 1, 50% engine 2. It doesn't even want to move at 50. Interesting. All right, let's move it up to 70%. Okay, we're at 70%-ish, 72, both engines. 17-degree flaps. Taking a very long runway.
Ifly 245, wind calm. Clear to land runway 23.
All right, even at 73%, this aircraft is taking itself off. I haven't touched the stick yet. Okay, now I'm gonna pull back and rotate. Okay. Now, I'm gonna raise the flaps up. Instead of the gear accidentally. And it looks like we're going to die. Yeah, we just hit the building there. We're dead. Okay. So, bad engines, right? That's how I ended my first video. I said the engines might have had issues, all right? So that's gonna be my guess, is maybe the fuel went wrong. Maybe the fuel went wrong. Maybe the fuel was bad in the engines. Let's try another thing. Let's try to take off with just one engine here. I know that these engines are engineered for that.
Straight out at runway 23.
23. Okay, so I'm gonna take off with my right engine. I'm gonna cut off my... I'm gonna leave my other one at 20. Seems like that's the idle there. Okay. You gotta give a lot of rudder here. Come on. All right, we won't even be able to take off if this is the case. Okay. There we go. All right, so now we're all dead. Okay, we're gonna try the same thing, but instead of just one engine off, we're gonna have one engine at 60%, one at 80%.
Oscar 66 tree at runway 23 ready for departure. Straight out departure.
Okay, we're gonna simulate just having a bad engine. Bad engines on your aircraft. All right, here we go. 56. All right, so let's bring it up to 60. Let's bring the other one down to 80. You'll see the engine percentages next to my head. Okay, we're at 160, rotating. It was automatically pulling up earlier. Okay. Okay, gonna put the flaps up here. So even with one engine at 77%, the other one close to 60%, there's enough thrust to take off with the landing gear down and the flaps up. Okay, I know we're starting to lose our speed here. Do you hear that? Wait a minute, hold on. Boom. There we go. Okay. So we can cause this thing to crash if we just don't have enough power coming out of our engines, right? Like, duh, right, Nate? That's a duh moment. But we're able to simulate that, and it seems pretty similar to the video that we saw. And that was with the flaps starting correctly and then moving up during the takeoff. Once we have a positive rate of climb, flaps going up, then the aircraft just can't get its speed, can't get its vertical speed, and it sinks. And then it crashes. I'm thinking maybe that's closer to what happened. Maybe some bad fuel. Maybe the engines just didn't want to hit 100% or even 80%. You get both engines at 80%, you're taking off just fine. Maybe the aircraft was overloaded. Let's try that too. Let's go into send this flight, and let's just try loading this thing all the way to the gills. Fuel and payload. Manage fuel. Let's give this sucker 90%. Okay, so now we're at 540,369 pounds. I don't know if we could look this up, how what they were weighed at, but we can try it. Okay, now we're just gonna do a normal takeoff and raise the flaps as soon as we take off. All right, and this will be the last one. Probably get some more suggestions. Hey, can you try doing it blindfolded? Here we go.
SpiceJet 1081, 22 miles northeast, inbound ILS Zulu runway.
All right, our flaps are at 15 right now.
SpiceJet 1081, a Metabot Tower. QNH 101 tree, cleared ILS Zulu runway 23 approach.
You'll see the flaps on the lower right over here go up once I'm ready to rotate.
Cleared ILS Zulu runway 23 approach. SpiceJet 1081.
Okay. I'm at 170 right now. I'm gonna rotate. I'm up. Okay, flaps up. Flaps are traveling up right now. Nah, fully loaded. Even deck to the gills. Full fuel. Close to full cargo. It's taken off, no problem. The flaps all the way. All right, we're gonna restart it. We're gonna take it off. We're gonna do the same thing without flaps. No flaps to begin with. Fully loaded.
A Metabot Tower, Nasty Nate Mike Alpha Oscar 66 tree ready at runway 2 tree, departing straight out.
Okay, just waiting for the flaps to go all the way up. All right, we're looking good here. Parking brake off. Engine power is at 95%. We got some auto throttle going on.
Cleared ILS Zulu runway 23 approach. SpiceJet 1081.
Obviously, you see the warning right here. I'm gonna just turn that off. Okay, airspeed's 130, 140, 150, 160. I'm rotating. Having some problems here. Look at this. There we go. Oh. Oh yeah, just tail struck. Look at this. I'm having some big issues. But I can still climb. Okay? So after that tail strike, I could still climb. And obviously we do a go around, land, and get fired for the rest of my life. But everyone's still alive. So, Streamliner's a beast. It's got enough thrust to do just about anything it wants, as long as it gets the power it needs. As long as it gets the gas, it's fine. Engine trouble. That's my only guess right now. I was one of those guys in the comments saying it's probably just the flaps. They probably didn't have the flaps up, and that could have ended everything. But it's most likely it's a combination. Maybe it's that and a few other things. But they called Mayday right after takeoff, so they must have heard some crazy warnings in that dash. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this investigation, because this aircraft's never crashed before in such a way that, and what we saw yesterday. Heart goes out to everybody that was affected, but you know, these tragedies, they happen, and they always happen for a reason. Each freak accident will prevent the next one. I hope we learn to prevent the next one based off of this investigation that's going to take place. And you know, if I get any other theories from you guys, I'll test them out and I'll make a video as long as they're not ridiculous. But you know, until then, thanks for the comments and thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great weekend.